Yesterday, at a gathering, the question was raised, why am I vegan? Life is complex. Every single action that we do, we can decide whether to do that action at the body level, mind level, or spiritual level. As you grow higher, your existence keeps getting wider and wider. And at the spiritual level, you don't exist anymore. You exist for someone else or something else. So, the question was raised, why are you vegan? After all, your father lived to be 85, 86, and he was not vegan. Then where is the problem? The question itself shows that the thinking process of that person revolves around the body. So obviously, body is his possession. This is where he is attached to. So, to preserve your possession, you will do anything that is possible to hold on to that possession. It's just like you bring a new car, and once you decided you love that car, you will do anything in the world to protect that car. Even a small scratch will ruin your day or more. So your likes, dislikes, moods, swings, anger, grief, all these things will be centered around that car. Same way, whoever had raised the question, his Chetna is revolving around the body. So even if you can prove, and which has been proven, that milk is not good for you, even then they cannot do it. So even if you become vegan thinking that milk is not good for the body, I want to live longer, so I will give up the milk and the dairy products. But it does not solve the purpose, because this has nothing to do with spirituality. Anybody in the right mind would not drink milk or dairy products. But the problem is, along with the body, there is mind also. So even if you can decide at the body level that milk is not good for you, mind will come and interfere, because all the pleasures of the dairy products, ice cream, kulfi, sweets, all those things gonna keep luring you, and you will disregard the effects on the body, and then you will live at the mind level. You will do it anyway, even though you can be proven that milk is not good for the body. Even after knowing that, because your existence is only at the mind level, the mind will say, go ahead and do it anyway. So even with risks of side effects of the milk and dairy products, you will do it. You will enjoy the products of the dairy products. But then again, still, your existence is at the mind level. Now you have made the mind your possession, and now you are listening to your mind. Before it was the body. You were slave to the body. You have stopped listening to the body. but now you're listening to the mind. But both the levels, at both the levels, you have bandhan, you are attached to either the mind or the body. And that's where the problem comes in. Mind and body, everybody understands. But to go beyond the mind and go beyond the body, the spiritual existence, nobody understands. And even if they understand in theory, they don't do it in practice because they have not started living at the spiritual level. To live at the spiritual level is a totally different ballgame, because at the body level, you want something from the world. Either you want to receive the pleasures of the dairy products and satisfy your body, or you give up dairy products and you become vegan just for the pleasure of having a longer lifespan. Then also you're doing it for the body level. You're doing it for your possession called body. So whether you're vegan or not vegan, it really doesn't matter. What is the deeper intent is what decides whether you're really vegan or not. The real vegan would be at the spiritual level, because at the spiritual level is the only level where you disappear. Mind disappears, body disappears. Only the Atma remains. And Atma cannot receive anything, because so far, before you turn vegan, because you were living for the body and living for the mind and body wanted something from the world. But as the demands of the body and the mind disappears, the spirit wakes up, and all of a sudden the sufferings of the cows as animals starts. Whether you accept it or not, the animals are being used for your pleasures, literally your pleasures, not for the needs. Because nobody drinks milk for the need. Everybody drinks milk for the pleasure. No matter how many advertisements and reports keep coming that you need for calcium, and that's all brainwash. If that was the case, we would be drinking our mother's milk forever. From the natural point of view, there is no need for milk. And there is no example at the existential level of any animal relying on another animal for its existence. So it's impossible. So the sufferings the cow has to go through was the ultimate factor for me to become vegan. And I realized even subconsciously that I had started living at the Atma level. At Atma level, the ego does not exist. Ego is an entity or phenomenon that exists only to survive for the pleasures of the mind and the body. But when we realize that at the mind and the body level you're becoming a slave, and then you realize the sufferings of the animals that they have to go through to feed your pleasures, at that time the true vegan is born, a spiritual vegan. But it's very difficult to explain to the people who live at the body or the mind level. For them, the pleasures of the mind and the body is the only thing that they live for and die for. So the question why someone is vegan is very difficult to explain. Only the spiritual vegan is a true vegan because he is in a giving mode rather than receiving mode. Because when the body, of course, we have, and we have to receive for their sustenance, the nutritional aspect of the body is necessary. We have to feed the body. That's one thing. But we are not really feeding the body for the vegan, for the dairy products. We are really feeding the mind, and mind is imaginary. Ego resides at the mind level, and trying to live for this ego, which we've been living for many lives. But the ego is our own creation. It's false, and it's very tricky also. A lot of people have a false belief that they are spiritual. They talk spiritual. They don't live spiritual. And the cheating happens. That's even more complex than someone says, okay, I'm vegan and I eat dairy products. I enjoy it. That's more simple. At least he or she accepts that. But people explaining themselves to be living at the spiritual level and doing the opposite, their minds are more crooked than the people who are straightforward, saying that yes, I eat dairy products because I enjoy them. So people who do not have thought and speech integration, there is a dichotomy. There is a difference of false belief that somebody is spiritual and not acting spiritual. There are major conflicts going on, and in psychiatric language it is called schizophrenia. Schizophrenia at a smaller level exists in all the people like that who claim to be living or believing or talking about spiritual life and not acting out in the world. And that complex mind is very difficult to overcome, because that's another play of the ego. That no, you are spiritual, you keep doing, you are always in a samadhi mode, you are already have reached to this level, so you can do whatever you want. These are all the tricks of the ego. And again, we are living illusory life, because ego is illusion and body is another illusion, that we have not come above it. So whether you are vegan to receive either the pleasures from the world, or being vegan so that you can hold on to your body longer, but you cannot cheat your mind because you would want to have it anyway. But even if you give up dairy products, but if you have not done it for the right purpose, then it's useless. So the question is, why am I vegan? I'm vegan because every time I refuse the dairy product, I am in a giving mode. I'm thinking of some unknown cow that will not have to go through suffering because of my imaginary ego, my imaginary mind, the pleasures and the pleasures of the body, the senses. So when I decided to become vegan, that was the reason. But as I have gone deeper into spirituality, now I can explain better that I am a vegan with a giving mode, not receiving mode. So there are differences between vegans also. But this is all very subtle. With that, you can understand and realize only you go deeper into the meditation, do the dhyan, and you analyze your own reactions, you analyze your own thoughts, you analyze your own actions, and then you be the judge. No one else can be the judge. If you keep on cheating yourself, you cannot progress on the spiritual path, because inside it's only you, no one else. People's court is not there. You are the judge and you are the criminal. The court sits only within you. And you want to keep the purity of the law in your court, or thugs have infiltrated from outside, like the pleasures of the dairy products. Being in a group where everybody is doing it, so I cannot be doing anything wrong. The outside world penetrates in your court, and the truth does not come out of the court. That we see it everywhere. All the courts are even infiltrated. And you see the wrong judgments, wrong decisions being taken. That will prevent you from going further into spirituality. So to remain spiritual and to remain true yourself is not easy. It's tough, but it has its own pleasures. Have a good day.